morning, campers. We are in Salt Lake City, Utah. Not to be confused with all the other Salt Lake cities out there. We're headed for the Prime Terminal. We just picked up a load from the chocolate place. It's just a warehouse. It's not like a chocolate factory. There's a candy warehouse here in Ogden that works for distribution out here in the West for various delicious candies. Alright, let's bring our speed down a little because this turn is a little bit awkward sometimes. The way the lines are painted, that should be a very, very sharp turn, but nobody actually follows the lines there because that would be ridiculous because they just like at a weird angle instead of doing a gentle departure from the freeway. You can see if you wind it back, you can look at the ground. You can see where most vehicles cut the corner a little bit there. Like the truck in front of us did the same thing in the left lane. So it's like if you're in the right lane, you better cut the corner because the people in the left lane are going to do it for sure because they're already going faster than you are because they're passing you. Turn the cruise control back on. Cruise control back on, please. Thank you. All right. Yeah, I know, buddy. I know. Very upset with that white line. Very upset indeed. But we have our radar working again. That's right. Our adaptive cruise control is functional once more. I spent 34 hours at the Prime Yard yesterday and the day before. And we got, oh, don't pass him on the right, you moron. Please don't hit him, please don't hit him. Hey, it's alright. Cool. Oh, you're going to cut him off too. Good job. This lane's about to end. I think that container knows it, so he's just staying left. But yeah, so we spent a 34-hour reset here in Salt Lake City. Oh, my voice. Sorry. Spent a 34-hour reset here in Salt Lake City and got our deer guard replaced. It turns out the deer guard that they attached to my truck at the Wiltrans terminal a while back in Springfield, Missouri, turned out that was not the correct deer guard, and that I was indeed correct when I told Road Assist that was the problem. At least so far it appears to be correct. It was definitely the wrong deer guard. So whether or not that turns out to have also solved our radar problem, it remains to be seen. So far, so good. But you know, sometimes it was working with the deer guard, the old deer guard anyway. So we might still run into issues in the future. But for now, it seems to be working. No more ghost truck in front of us. They had instead of putting the new style deer guard on my truck, they had modified an old Cascadia deer guard and put that on my truck. So it was very, very difficult to get it out because it was not designed. It was absolutely not designed for my truck at all. So it took sledgehammers, and eventually they had to tie part of the deer guard to a concrete post, and I had to throw the truck in reverse to pull it out. It was like pulling a tooth for Mr. Apophis here. Really? Passing me in an exit lane? That is brave. Or stupid, or both. Or those are just the same thing, framed in different ways. Good thing we didn't need to take that exit, huh? But, yeah, so we got the new deer guard. We also had a coolant leak a couple of days ago. We slept on top of Sherman Hill at the rest area on the I-80 summit with the creepy Abraham Lincoln statue that stares at the traffic. We slept up there for a night, and then my 70 was shot, so we had to spend most of the day there as well, until just before midnight that I could get rolling again. And when I woke up, there was a puddle of coolant under my truck, and that was not good. I determined it was indeed from my truck. It wasn't an old puddle of coolant for another vehicle, because I could see where coolant had puddled on part of my truck's frame above the ground. So it definitely came out of my truck, and we got it looked into here, and apparently it was just the first time that so my coolant got overfilled, I guess, at my last PM, and like a bubble or something finally worked itself out, and it just, the radiator, while it was idling at some point overnight, probably doing a quick regen, guard. So excited about that. The difference between this deer guard and the old one are minimal. You almost can't even tell unless you're looking for it. But the two bars in the middle are slightly further apart. The deer guard also sits a little bit closer to the bumper. Basically, it's just a couple of minor tweaks to the deer guard that make it a lot less likely to obstruct the radar. Fingers crossed that actually holds true, and we do not have to deal with the 3-foot ghost truck in front of us ever again. Hopefully. Fingers crossed. We'll see. According to the Prime mechanics, this did indeed solve the problem for the majority of their trucks. Some of them it didn't quite do it yet, and they had to get adjusted beyond that. But according to Palmer Maintenance, the reason they didn't think it was the deer guard and wouldn't listen to me on that is because they've got trucks without the deer guard that were having the same issue. So I don't know what's going on there. Lane closures on the ramp to I-80. Use caution. Excellent. That'll be fun. We're not going to 80 at the moment. We're going to Bangerter Highway, which is the highway that comes out of Salt Lake International Airport going south. This sign is very bad for this exit. It should be more to the right. A little bit of engine braking here. So we're expecting road work as we come around the corner. Also, I think the speed limit drops to like 45 on this feeder road that runs parallel to I-80 West for a bit. Because we're not actually at any point going to merge with Interstate 80. We're going to stay on a feeder road and then merge with the next Interstate 80 exit to get to Bangerter Highway. We never actually get to the interstate. It doesn't happen. Oh, good. That means that we're going to be mixing with the traffic at Bangerter. That's great. That's great. This could be fun. Alright, this lane ends where it's left. We're heading into the Prime yard at the moment. We just picked up a load, so we need to scale it out on their free scale. Don't try and pass me, dude. You do not have a lane anymore. Dummy. Where are you going? It's just, wow. Alright. This guy is just straddling the lane to our right. That's great. Very bad at lanes, good sir. Or madam. I couldn't honestly see in the vehicle. Very good tinting on that. Alright, so we gotta watch out for mixing traffic here, because there is no merge area on this little bit. Nope, nothing. Cool. Down a lot because this is a cloverleaf. Oh, my tablet's attempting to escape with the bills of lading. Ah, there you go. Got it. I caught it. We can turn that turn signal off at this point. Ah. Lateral G's. Lateral G's. Everybody loves pulling lateral G's. I think I just need to like buckle up my my clipboard. Alright. Don't like doing that rainfall loaded. It's not fun. And I'm being illegally passed before we even merge with the traffic. Cool. And I'm gonna get straight to the left. left lane. Because I have to make a left turn. Particular highway. We are in our lane, and that's the important part. Nobody can block us from moving left or right at any other points for getting to the prime terminal. Wow, that was my left lane departure warning. That was alright. I mean, it was fair. Afraid of orange lines the same way we are of yellow lines, but you know, don't hear that one terribly often because normally normally we're riding really far to the right. But we're getting a little bit of a breeze today. Alright, let's start bringing our speed down. We got a stoplight where we're turning left. Engine braking for fun and profit. We're going to signal left just so the people behind us know what we're doing. Goodness that person passed me so they could get to that line and sit there faster. Utah drivers are fun. They're very impatient and very risk-taking. So it is so nice to just have the deer guard thing taken care of finally. Because like knowing I've got a deer guard on here that actually fits. If we need to take it off in the future, like there's tow hooks up underneath my can we go, please? Thank you. There's tow hooks up underneath my hood for the unfortunate event where we need someone to pull us out of a sticky situation. Good to know that on the off chance that we ever need to put those on, whatever tow truck was pulling us out will probably be able to get my deer guard off, because it's a much easier design to remove than the old one. You can actually remove the deer guard all as one big piece now, whereas my old deer guard required disassembly before it could be removed. We are headed into the prime Salt Lake City yard. I know I've said that a couple of times, but I just want to reiterate, this is not a Wilson Logistics facility. This is a Prime Inc. yard, which I have access to because I pull Prime Inc. trailers and have a Prime Inc. fuel card. I am still turning left, truck. That was not permission to turn off my turn signal. Alright, you going, buddy? An admirable choice. Admirable choice. There was a car in front of him that I could not see. Alright, let's see if we don't get a yellow light here before. Nope, okay, we're gone. Do-do-do-do-do. And there's someone coming out to turn left, so we're going to keep that nice and wide so our trailer doesn't go into his lane. Perfect. Perfect. The whole reason that I like coming in from this direction, like if we'd stayed on 215, we could have just taken the California Avenue exit and used these back roads to get to the Prime terminal. But the whole reason I like doing it from Bangor Highway is because it makes it 2 left turns to get into the street, and those left turns you can more easily hold your lane. Please don't pull out in front of me. You have a stop sign and I do not. Thank you. But that left turn, when you make that turn onto that road, you can avoid going into oncoming traffic. If you're going the opposite direction and you need to make a right turn onto that road, you got to take like all of the oncoming lanes to make that turn, unless you turn from like the left lane of California Avenue, which is not a good idea. But yeah, turning left off of California Avenue onto that street. Much safer. Much, much safer. Keeps your trailer in the same lane as your tractor. There's the Expo Logistics Yard. XPO Logistics. I don't know how you actually are supposed to say that out loud. I've always called them Expo because that makes the most sense to me. That's where it's a cross-dock facility, so you get a lot of other carriers come down this road to go in there and drop stuff off for Expo. A lot of CR England trucks coming in here all the time. But they also set up and disassemble Rocky Mountain doubles and triple trailers at that facility, so it's pretty neat to see them coming down here. Because they use the same tactic that I do for getting here off of Bangerter Highway rather than coming in off of 215. So it gives me hope that that is indeed a correct decision that we make, because all the really long trucks do it as well. Alright, so this is the prime yard on the left. We have to make a left turn into the yard and go over a special little sensor in the pavement. That checks our tire depth, and we've got to make sure we don't run over any of the posts on either side of this sensor, because that is frowned upon by the owners of Prime Incorporated. Alright. Someone hit one of the posts already. It wasn't me. Alright, onto the sensor. And there's our trailer tires. Cool, we're good. Alright, so we're just gonna pull up to... Oh, there was totally an empty bay, and I didn't realize that one was open. No! Well, we're committed now. Too late to change. It's fine. Alright, so we are here. I'm going to top off my reefer tank before we get on the scale. I'm also going to see if they can just give us a spare tire for this trailer, because it doesn't have one. And I like having spare tires because it's come in handy a couple of times when tires have fallen apart. In one case, we had a blowout, and we were able to we had a spare tire to put on there. In a couple of other cases, I've had tires just like fall apart, like chunks would start coming off of them, and it's like, that's no longer a safe tire to use, and they just, pop the spare on there, and then that trailer just jumped quite a lot. Pop the spare on there, and good to roll without Prime having to buy me a new tire while I'm out on the road. Because brand new super singles are expensive, and Prime makes their own recaps. So it makes more sense to have Prime put one of their own recaps under every trailer than for us to have to buy a brand new super single tire, because they're typically drive tires that you end up getting. Yay! Thank you guys so much for watching. My name's Elio Dare, Azar17 on Twitch, Elio Dare on Xbox Live, Steam, and most importantly Twitter. Come say hi. There. Yeah, thank you guys so much for watching, and have a great day.